Hey, good morning, Trip Nation. How you guys doing? Let's give it a few minutes here. People are just starting to jump on. Hey, Koyat, how you doing, brother? Hey, James, how are you? Deborah? Pass the extra espresso. Yeah, of course. I think Amy's going to have to get me a cup of coffee. Please. Hey, Victor. Good morning. How are you doing from LA, my hometown? James Jones, how are you? And Mr. Escobar, or Miss Escobar? Yeah, Sergey from Fairfax, Virginia. Oh, it's Mr. I'm sorry, I can't see the photo. It's like an eye test for me. Walt Brown, how are you doing? Meredith, good morning. Mr. C's deliveries on from Las Vegas, my new hometown, but I've been here like 15 years now. Hector Vasquez, good morning, sir. Legacy Rideshare, welcome, welcome. Mathis. Mike Jones, good morning. Jerome. Got a lot of good stuff to talk about this morning. Joe Jones, good morning. Jim Clover. Hey, Jim, how are you? Jesus. What's up, Jesus? Everything's up. Everything's good. Starting to move. Vivian. My phone just heard me talking and answered me. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Art, how are you doing this morning? Let's get started here in a few minutes. Got a list of notes.
Dwayne McDaniel. I think Dwayne's in Nashville.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Dwayne, are you in Nashville? Good morning, Mike Connor. Let's see. Let's give it like, 15 more seconds or so, and then we'll get started for everybody. Pino, thank you for the nice, kind words this morning. Pino sent me a text saying that he thought Tony was a great addition to the team, and we all know he is, but it's nice to hear that from people. Got a lot of good feedback about that call the other night. So we'll probably, maybe do once a month call like that, so we get more people on and, spend more time going through more pertinent information. Rodney Bush. Hey, Rodney, thanks for getting that donut shop the other day. That's very good. We asked Rodney if he could find a donut shop because we're, I'll talk about this about influencers in the market, in the Nashville market. We're going to be out. We already started reaching out to them the last few days now. So we're starting to get some traction with the influencer market. What's that?
Dwayne said cops need delivery too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, donuts and coffee for the cops.
I wonder if they have.
Yeah, Dwayne's in Nashville.
Crazy donuts like we have here.
Yeah, I don't know if any. Seems like Las Vegas is crazy about a lot of stuff, but they have some of the most interesting donut shops here that they make. They're really high-end donuts, and they're loaded with sugar. So if you got a sugar rush, you definitely go to the donut shops here. They're amazing with the kind of donuts that they make. So let me get started here, everybody. I want to welcome everybody to the call this morning. we're starting to move the wick a little bit in Nashville right now. But I want to first give a shout out to a few people. One is Kevin Steele. I don't know if Kevin's on this call or not this morning. Young guy, he's in Tucson and single-handedly is building Tucson. And he signed up restaurants. He signed up our first ghost kitchen in Tucson the other night. So, we're really proud of him, what he's doing, and he's just going to keep pushing. And as we start building out more and more people into these markets, and if they go to work, obviously you can get a market up pretty quickly, and I'll talk about that in a minute. John in Nashville signed up 2 or 3 restaurants. I don't have the exact number. And he also brought on a couple new drivers in this past week. So kudos to John, appreciate that. John's been with us not in a long time, probably only the last 6 months or so. And he's from Nashville, so he's doing a great job. He's a professional business guy, super, super nice guy. And then Rodney, of course, on the donut shop. Only thing, Rodney, you cannot go back to that donut shop and ask for donuts for yourself. Anyway, I wanted to give a shout out to all those guys and thank them for their hard work. Also, I want to talk about the new marketing program. So let me explain to you what the marketing program. Anybody in the company can be a marketer, okay? They can sign up for it, and it pays. What we call is Connect 3. There's 3 connected levels, 1, 2, and 3. Each one pays out a different amount. So the first connect point pays out 50%, second connect point pays out 15%, and the third pays out 5%. This is new by adding a third. So the question is, are we going back in network marketing? No, we're not. We're just giving a third level to induce pay people a little bit more money, induce them to get more inspired to recruit and bring on drivers and other marketers, because we're finding a lot of people don't drive or don't want to drive or can't drive, but they want to participate. So one of the things we decided to do is a marketer program. You saw the first one we launched. It really wasn't, inspiring. It wasn't really the right deal for us. The new one we just announced the other night will be a fire burner. So the question came up, what about the legacy? And legacies, everybody forgets they have, that's a legacy has options in the company. So we're really generous with that. And then they're at 50 and 15. But I don't want people thinking that because we did that, they're entitled to this. Okay. What I am going to do, though, we're taking a hard look at it. By next Saturday, we're going to announce how the legacy person can become a marketer without paying any more money. Okay. But here's the deal. Everybody worries about what they don't have, and 0 of 0 is 0. So if you're not producing, you're not working, and you have a very lucrative compensation plan, which we're putting together, then it's still going to be 0. So, I'm trying to accommodate everybody and be right with everybody. So when we come up with these programs to help you build your business, which helps us build our business, and if you happen to be an option holder, when I say our, it means you and me, you have to go do something. You just can't, get on a call and a few people got really upset on Thursday night after we announced the marketer program because they thought they were left off because they were legacies. And I can tell you that a lot of the legacy people have never, because we see it, we run a report every week. I would say 2/3 of the legacy people have never signed into their back office. More? Yeah. Maybe 70.
I don't want to give the number because I would embarrass you, legacy.
Yeah. So maybe it's 75% of the people. So those are the things that, if you're going to build a business, you have to be engaged. But we're going to go ahead and move legacies that want to move over to marketer. Just means they gain more. They're not losing anything. They're going to pick up that third connection. And if they don't want to drive, they don't have to drive. They can just, be a marketer and get after it if that's what they want to do. But it's called participation. People need to participate if they want to win. But that's up to you because it's your business. But so I just wanted to bring that up about we are going to be moving legacy people over. There'll be a plan on how to do that. Next Saturday, I'll announce it. It's not going to cost any more money, but you may have to do a few things to be moved over. And I think that's right because the company's been very generous in our commission payouts. And Also, if you sign a restaurant, the kind of money you can make, those are all really great things. I've been talking to a lot of people over the last 4 or 5 days about our compensation plan, and they're blown away with it, particularly on the restaurant side, where somebody that really gets after it, signs up 20, 30, 40, 50 restaurants, can really make a substantial living by doing that. So we know we're on the right track. The other thing that we know we're on the right track on, I've gotten feedback, if the restaurateur wants to run with their pricing, because we don't control the restaurant's pricing, but if they submit their menu and their menu is marked up and that money goes in their pocket, the restaurants, the ones I've been talking to, are just on fire about it. So it does a lot of things for us and does a lot of things for the restaurant. The thing it does for them, it puts a lot of money in their pocket. It could be 20%, 25, 30, whatever the number is they're being charged by, the competitors, Grubhub, Uber Eats, any of those guys, DoorDash. So that's an important product that we're working on now. And we'll have all this dialed in on by next Friday. The marketer program will be up live. All the documentation will be in the back office that you guys that were on the calls Thursday will see. It's all there, so you can use it as a reference, how to do stuff. And don't forget, Shanna has her training calls every Monday and Thursday. And they're great trainings. You can go into YouTube right now. You can look at the YouTube channel and see all the trainings are up there. A lot of them are segmented by time. So if you looked at this piece and you said, oh, well, how do you sign up and do this? You can actually find it on the video itself. So you don't have to sit for 30, 40 minutes and listen to the whole video. You can go straight to that. So let me go through a couple of things. So yeah, I did tell you we're not MLM. We just added one level for the marketer. We want to put more money in people's pockets. So that one is they have the income and they are making money immediately. If you sign a marketer up yourself, you get paid the following week. And if you all start working together and understand how to start recruiting drivers, marketers, consumers, you guys have to start getting the consumer app out there in downloads, because nobody. We're just been stagnant. It takes effort to get something out of a business. So anyway, what you have to do is learn to duplicate yourself, and it doesn't take much. You want to see this company explode? Just bring one new person to next Saturday's call. All you got to do is tell, hey, get on the call and listen to what Bob's going to talk about. That one person, if there's 100 people on the call, and the other night, by the way, there was almost 300 people on the call. But if you got 100 people on the call, everybody brings one, now you're at 200. What happens the following week if you bring one more person and that person brings a person? So you see how fast this thing can multiply? Those are the people, when you start bringing new people and they see what this is about and they get engaged, that starts boosting your paycheck, helps you build your business. That's the reason we added the other third connect point, because of that. It'll help you build your business, which helps us build our business. So it's really important to understand how this works. But bring next week one person to the call. That's all you got to do. And when you bring that person to the call, then it's my job to inform them about what the company's about so we can start growing the business. So I don't want to belabor on it, but those are the things that you got to do if you want to build a business. And we're going to build a business. Believe me, this thing is really, really powerful. We're starting to get traction in some of the other small markets that people are working. William Mathis signed up a bunch of people, great restaurants in the Maryland market. And so people are starting to get traction out there, but we want to really focus on Nashville. We want to put as much energy into Nashville, and I'll tell you what we're doing to do that in the next minute or so. All the marketing tools that you saw the other night will be in the back office by Friday next week. Once we post up the marketer, then we'll post up all the other information. No use putting it up beforehand because it'll just drive more questions until we're up and running. So that'll be in the back office. Couple of new little features we put into the app. One is proof of delivery. So if you're a delivery driver and you deliver food to someone's house, you either leave it on the doorstep or they answer the door and you hand it to them. You have to, it's mandatory to take a photo. And when you're at the end of your ride, it'll pop right up, okay? and it'll say, take a photo for
It says
proof.
proof of delivery.
Proof of delivery photo. You just click it. If you ask the person to take a photo, if not, you can just set the food aside and take it. That way it proves you delivered the food. There's a lot of problems cropping up with food deliveries where people say they never got it and then they get charged back, all kinds of stuff. This keeps a record of it. So when you take that photo, automatically goes in the system, it gets cataloged under you and under the time and delivery. So it's a safety feature for you guys. So that's a mandatory feature. It's live now. So they worked on that. We got a bunch of new stuff coming over the next week or 10 days too, on just little upgrade things, the back office for restaurants or the merchant panel for restaurants. We got a lot of new stuff coming on that. But proof of delivery is up and running. So make sure you start using that and taking photos. Protects you and protects the company. Let's see. Oh, a couple other things. When you sign up a restaurant, what's happening, there's 3 lines when you sign up a restaurant of information, addresses. The first one you sign up on is controlled by Google and auto-populates. So what that means is when you start to type in the address, you type in the first 2 or 3, it already geolocates you so they know where you are. So it will pop up maybe 5 or 6 addresses. You'll see the address that you're going to type in. It will auto-populate that. So do not try to override it. And a lot of you can type way fast. And what happens, you get ahead of Google, and then it causes a problem for yourself. So just give it a second. When you start signing up people and you start moving down the road on this, relay that information, and we'll have it on the FAQs. But it just makes it easier for somebody if they understand that, because they don't have to, rifle through it automatically. So the sign up is important, makes it easy. Then the other thing is, I think most of you know that we prize for coffee on Saturday with me. Amanda, we have a thing with Starbucks, so she sends out Starbucks and stuff to whoever wins it I think Monday it gets announced. Just something we're trying to do, keep everybody engaged on little stuff like that. So I'm going to open it up for Q&A in a second. One last thing is I want to talk about Nashville and getting after the Nashville market. We have over 100 menus online right now. We have to add a few more, probably another 10 or 15 menus are going to go up. So get those in as quick as you can if you sign up a restaurant, and so we can get those posted. We want to focus the company. Doesn't mean all of you have to do this, but anyone that wants to do it, they can do it on the phone, register, calling restaurants, whatever, from wherever you are. We're going to put heat on that market, and we're going to start advertising in that market in about 6 or 7 days. We're going to flood, as we call, the zone with ads on Facebook and Instagram. One is download the apps. We want to get people downloading apps, whether they're the consumer app or driver apps. We need more drivers. It's about 3 to 1. So we want to get up to about 300 restaurants very quickly. So that means we're going to need about 800 to 1,000 drivers to cover all of those restaurants in that market. So it's partly up to you guys that want to participate and help build that market. We're going to get after it. We're already outreaching to a lot of influencers. We have a number of influencers that have 50, 60, 70,000 people that live in Nashville. So we'll start pushing those people. And those influencers are really not about recruiting drivers or restaurants. Basically, they're going to be going after the consumer base, trying to get the app out there and download. So you get into use so people can use it and experience it. But I can tell you, I was on a couple calls in the last day or so, and I started walking people through the notion that the restaurant could mark up their own goods and put more money in their pocket. The people that really, got it said, wow, that's powerful. It's more powerful than almost anything we're doing, because now instead of the restaurateur getting hammered for 20, 30, 40%, if they want, they can put 20, 30, 40% in their pocket. It's up to them how they want to do it. Because keep in mind, they get their own merchant processing account. So once again, nothing comes to us. It goes straight from the consumer to the restaurateur, just like the driver, the consumer to the driver. So it's the same product, same kind of messaging we need to get out. So you guys control your own money. So that's most of the stuff I wanted to just talk about, little updates, things we're doing. Let me take a read here and see what.
Can I answer one question?
Sure.
So someone's saying that their apps aren't working. All the apps work. So the 3 things that you have to do to troubleshoot: the location services have to be turned to always on. There was someone this week with support that said they didn't want to. Well, if you don't want to, then your app will not work. Our apps and the website also too, when you go to the marketplace, are all location based. Then that is so that when you order, it actually goes to where you're located at. So that's number 1. The location services have to be turned on to always on. Mr. C's delivery, I'm talking to you. And then the other 2 things is the iOS or the Android operating system up to date. That's another big issue. People say, I don't want to update. Well, our app only works with the current operating system. So that needs to be up to date. And then our apps also, I know the driver app this weekend was just updated because we added in that photo for the proof of delivery photos. So you might try to uninstall and reinstall. If those 3 things do not work, then they have to go to support at TripDelivers.com, and then they will walk through with them. They will try to log in on their side and see if it works on their phone, if it's something wrong with their phone, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with the apps.
Yeah. So, and I also had some text messages last couple of days. Not everybody does this, but a few people want to argue about, oh, it doesn't work. You guys don't know what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. If a person doesn't want to update their app, then probably not going to work. But I can tell you it does work. And we're a tier 1 provider. It's not like we're some rinky-dink bunch of people that just started an app company. This thing is enterprise. It's built. It's doing millions of transactions. So it's not the app. We update the app probably 2-3 times a week. So if you have to have your app set up so it sets always updating. You have to have it on always. So you need to look at your settings and try to work things out. And again, I get text messages when somebody's app doesn't work. Now, do I look like I'm customer support?
And not only that, you don't know how they work.
Well, that's the other thing. I'm not your tech guy, so I'd probably have you go in the other direction.
One other thing too they just brought up is when you first get the app, it comes up. It has a pop-up and says, do you want to share your location services? If you put no, the app turns off. Yeah. Because if you're saying, I don't want to share my location, so the app does not work then. So then at that point, you would have to go back into your settings, go to the app and say, yes, I always allow.
Okay. So anyway, enough on that.
Yeah.
If you guys want to participate, you got to learn about your business. It's like if you had a real job and you went out and somebody hired you and you got behind a desk, they're going to tell you all the things you need to do. And if you don't do it the way they've already set it up, and they could have 100 people working for them or 10 or whatever, and everybody's built on a replicated mode to do things the right way. And if you don't do it that way, it's not going to work. So enough said. If it legitimately doesn't work, we're all over it. Believe me, we have bells and whistles that go off when something in the system isn't working. We know before almost anybody. So when somebody says the app doesn't work and we just get the message, we go, oh, it's probably they didn't do this or that or this. And 95% of the time it's that. Anyway, so let's see.
John Cortez says, is it now $75 a mile instead of $1?
Yes, it's $75 a mile instead of $1. We lowered it to be competitive in the marketplace a little bit. So we have to stay on the market. One of the things, Eris, to paid extra 3rd level, why not $5 by 100 drivers is 500? I don't know what you mean by that, Eris. So maybe you can be more clear.
Andy is telling us about his restaurant problems with Grubhub. We are not Grubhub, Andy. So those questions would have to go to Grubhub.
Yeah.
What about the other 2 lines in the restaurant sign up?
Yeah, what are the other 2 lines?
So the first line is the one that auto-populates, and that goes into Google Maps, and that's how the location gets put on Google Maps. The second line, and then the next line shows first line of address. So that would be like the city, or excuse me, the street name, whatever the street name is. And then the second line of the address, that's optional. That would be like if it was a unit number or something. So there's 3 address lines. First one is the Google map one. You got to let that auto-populate. Second one is the street address, first line of the street address, and second is optional. And it has notes on there, so you should be able to.
Yeah, I think it's a pop-up that comes up, right?
No, it's not a pop-up. It just says what it is.
Oh, okay.
So you just got to read it.
All
if you don't put it in correctly, it will not let you get past. So you have to let it auto-populate.
So Meredith asks, is it $6 the first mile? Yes, 75 cents after that. We've built in a 10% commission, or excuse me, a tip on that, on all rides. The consumer can adjust it up or down. Some of the people asked me to put more, like 15 or 20% suggestion. We're going to keep our eye on it. The thing I worry about is if we overreach into the pocket of the consumer. Most people will tip 15, 20 if you did a really good job. 10% is just like a token, but I think most will get moved up. I know how I tip, but that doesn't mean I'm,
Bob is an over tipper.
Particularly if somebody does a really good job, like runs red lights for me. No, I'm only kidding. But I try to make sure that if somebody's in the gig economy, you try to really take care of them because, they're working for themselves and, every dollar counts. So Rodney Bush, let's see, be the example, not the excuse. There you go. Real simple. So we're always looking at trying to put more money in the pocket. And the most delicate balance is on the driver's side because the competitive marketplace is going to set the price for the driver, right? So we have to be cognizant of that. So if we had to make an adjustment, you only want to make a little adjustment, not a lot. So we look at this all the time. So
Andy Anderson, same question from last week. He has drivers that can't get approved. I don't want to tell him the same thing. You would tell him.
Some of the drivers, and I've looked into it just last week because we have probably 60 or 70 that weren't approved.
No.
How many we have?
There's 10 people that are sitting in there that are not approved. We have sent them 5 emails each and said, you have to update whatever it is. It's a blurry ID. The registration is expired. It's all things that need to be updated by the driver. So Andy, those guys you have on here, Kirk and Anthony, they need to check their email and see what it is that they need to update, and they need to update it. And if they're having a problem updating it, they go to support@TripDelivers.com.
Yeah, and if they don't know what to do, but if it says repost your driver's license or repost your insurance card, things like that, then that's all you need to do.
So the driver approval is AI. It's very sophisticated, and we can't bypass it. I know we've even had people say, can you just approve them? We can't. Yeah. We don't have a process to do that.
And the reason is there's legalities if you don't have the proper approval, the company is liable big time for anything that would happen in the car or anything in the delivery process or whatever. So we do have a number of people that have been declined through our system, and then we have to validate why they were declined. So let's say somebody had a felony, we have to decline them. I mean, if it's a misdemeanor, we don't, but if it's a felony, there's just no way our insurance will let us handle the people like that. So anyway, that's where I just saw John just first mile, $6, yes, for the first mile, and 75 cents after that. It's pretty easy.
What about people that paid for the side hustle driver and they only make $35 in 30 days?
That means you didn't work hard enough, because if you paid $39.99 and you didn't make $39.99, that's like 3 rides.
The way our system works, which is different than the other guys, it pings all the people within the vicinity of the restaurant. So the other food delivery only pings the closest person. So what that means to you is that if you want to work, you can, because you will get pinged. And the first person that accepts that drive, which I know John is on it, he accepts the drive within 1 second. So you got to be quicker than John. But if you want to work, you got to accept it as soon as you get pinged. Oh, I can think about it. Because if you think about it, somebody else will take it.
Right. And the reason we're doing that, it gets more exposure for the restaurant. It makes people hustle a little bit more. And that's the name of the game. It's the business. You're not only, driving, but you have to get there on time so the food is still warm when you pick it up and deliver it. All those kinds of things matter in the delivery business. And we'll be doing more and more trainings on that with Shannon and things like that. One of the biggest single reasons I brought in Tony is I need the help, and I need somebody that really understands how to run the field and duplicate, replicate, drive sales, drive signups with drivers, drive with marketer signups and all that. That's what Tony's job is. He's going to work on some trainings, but Shanna is really the person that runs the overall training in the company. And her role is going to get bigger, not smaller, as we roll out the business model. And then we have Art on the white glove side, who's handling that contact point when a driver or when a restaurant signs up. So it's a matter of coordination. But going back to when we notify a driver orders out there, we notify everybody within a radius of that location, because some driver that's close. Here's the thing. He may be thinking about it. Oh, do I want to go do that ride, or drive and pick it up? And then in the meantime, it's slowed the process down if he's the closest one. So whoever bings on it first is going to get the order to get there. It's a little different than what everybody experienced. We think it's going to work out. And if it doesn't, we'll take a look at it. But I think we need to be on the forefront of doing things that are always on the edge of difference. That matters, not just to be different, but that matters. If we can pick up the service, the quality of service to the restaurants, we're going to, they're going to save money, obviously. And also the customer service side, which is critical, will be satisfied also.
Can I order food for someone in Nashville?
Sure. I mean, you go to the website, you can see which restaurants are online with us.
Or you go to the app.
To
change your location up in the top, and then you can order.
Koyat, any testimonies from drivers or restaurants of orders that have been I think there was Rodney Bush did one the other day that was actually pretty good. So yeah, there's a little bit, but again, people have to get engaged. If you guys turn this into fun and not like drudgery, you'll have a great time. That's been my secret in business for 45 years. I get up every day and I'm looking forward to it, to go to work, because it's fun to me. It's creative. I have to use my brain. And then hopefully if I do something stupid, I'll be able to laugh at it. So you have to have a great deal of humor when you're doing these kinds of businesses and not get caught up in the anger cycle and stuff like that. You'll find out your life runs a lot smoother when you do stuff like that.
Okay, so now Andy's writing back. It was something with the insurance. Like I said, Andy, support is the one that has to handle this. We could not do this for you. I'm sorry. I wish that we could. So you got to go back to support at TripDelivers.com and they will help.
Yeah.
There's only 10 people in there. So if your guys are 2 of them, they got to go back.
Yeah.
They got to communicate with them. They got to send them an email. Are we onboarding bike delivery drivers?
Yeah. We have, I think, 10 of them signed up right now. So bike delivery, in fact, I talked to a guy just a couple of weeks ago that's a bike delivery guy. And I was actually talking to him, does he get worried about somebody, run him over? And yeah, so we're there.
Jesus is asking, can we have a call like this in Spanish once a month, please?
Sure. We do a call, training call with Norma Marie twice a week. And maybe what I'll do next Saturday is, if you want to bring, and we can do a Spanish only. So tell us what you think. If you want to do a Spanish only call, I'll arrange it and I can get on with Norma Marie.
So a felony prevents from being a delivery driver.
Yeah, felony is a problem, particularly if it's anything to do with violence, DUIs, things like that. We just can't have that kind of behavior in driving because the insurance side, with the liability. And we're trying, look, we still have to protect the public. We have to protect the company. So there's a lot going on here. This is, I got in this space and, not really, it probably really good that I didn't know exactly everything that's going to happen, because as over time, you start learning all these different issues and you go like, wow, that's huge. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. So we have to build the business model that conforms to all the rules and regulations in the industry. And if you don't, you're just asking for trouble.
And that's not just us.
No, it's every rideshare company or every delivery company. They all have the same regulatory issues.
Does Art contact the restaurant at sign up or after the lunch?
No, he contacts them after they're signed up. So if you sign up a restaurant today, Art will get an automatic email immediately after it's signed up. And then he needs to call that restaurant within 24 hours, welcome them on board, ask them a series of questions, all the things that are pertinent to us and getting them up. So it's something nobody else does in the industry, but I think it's important to give that first line of customer service right after they sign up. Somebody contacts them from the company, and it's working out very well. Art's been getting a lot of positive feedback from us doing that.
Dwayne says, I get up every day and I try to sign up more restaurants than Rodney.
I like that, Dwayne. Yeah, Rodney's quiet, but he gets it done. But yeah, that's the way to do it. Just have a good attitude. When you walk in and you meet somebody, they can tell by your body language, intuitively if it's going to be a friendly conversation or you're nervous about asking them, things like that. Once you get a couple under your belt, you're going to get confidence. You're going to be able to walk into a restaurant. You're going to talk to the owner or the manager, and you're going to have your pitch down so solid that you'll just start clicking them off. And that's the thing, by the way, that Tony knows really well, is that and how to make that work and how to get into these marketplaces and stimulate growth. Because you remember in his call last night or on Thursday night, he mentioned about he was in the restaurant business first, got into the delivery business because of his own business. And then he just, went out and started calling on restaurants and markets. So when he opened his first market up in California, he drove out to California and spent, 2 weeks soliciting people to open it up, restaurants. And he did that on multiple markets. He had 300 markets open. And he was able to open markets up, pretty quickly within 2 to 3 weeks. 3 weeks on the outside, and he would go in there along with 2 or 3 other people. So they didn't have a lot of people, and they go sign up. These are small markets, so they don't need 200, 300, 400 restaurants. But he would sign up 75 to 100 restaurants, and then they'd open the market up and get going. And they were really successful. I mean, they've done a lot of small markets around the United States. And the good news about what we're doing, we have people in small markets, we have people in large markets. So we have people that can fit the bill for us. So the whole reason to really get Nashville really cemented in and producing for us over the next 30 days is to get that traction going and then replicate that into other markets. So we can do multiple markets at a time. We get after first year, we got to figure out how we can open 6 or 7 markets, simultaneously. The system can handle it. It's whether or not we have enough people in each one of those markets that can go out and work. If we had just 15 people in a market to go open it, and they even part-time went out to restaurants, if you had 15 people, just think about it. If you just signed up 1 or 2 restaurants a day over 30 days, it's 30 to 60 restaurants you could sign up. And if you have 15 people doing that, you're talking about 600, 700, 800 restaurants pretty quick. So if you see how the numbers work, it doesn't take long to get a market open. There's so many restaurants in a market, 15 people aren't going to overlap. These market sizes, they're anywhere from 800, about 800 restaurants to 10,000 restaurants. If you go to Dallas, there's 9,500 restaurants in Dallas, and it's over a huge, geographic area. Same thing in Houston, Atlanta, all of those. So we need to learn how to, get after it and start replicating ourselves. But yeah, if you had 15 people, like I said, on a team working in a marketplace, you could open that market up in 30 days and you're off to the races big time.
Will the $10 minimum order be implemented in all markets?
Yes. I would think so. There's no reason not to have a $10 minimum order. Our competitors have a 12. So,
but do you want to tell them why? The reason we put it on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Then do you want to tell them why? Because the restaurant, what we were seeing happening in our testing, the reason we put this on even before we even got the feedback from anybody is when we're testing, we'll put like a 50-cent order, $1 order a pop or whatever, a soda. And basically the restaurant would show negative because they're paying the $2 or $3 pickup for an item that is less than what they would even make. So at that point, we talked about it. And we want to make sure that the restaurant's making money and not spending $2 for us to pick it up, and then it's money out of their pocket. They didn't even make anything off the order.
Right.
So that's the reason we made it $10.
Yeah.
And then the restaurant does have the ability in their merchant panel, if they wanted to raise it to more than that, they can put it to whatever they want.
Each restaurant has total control over their pricing. They can go in and adjust their pricing, their hours. Anything they can add to their menu, they can take away from their menu. So let's say they had a special on some, food item and they ran out. They can go into their merchant panel and, just suspend that product for whatever time they want to suspend it for. There's a lot of flexibility in the system. So
they can do specials. Two things along those lines. There are videos that we put up that teach people how to do those things for the merchants, and they do not have volume. They are instructional videos for the restaurant to be able to see how to work their merchant panel. The other thing you keep asking is for us to do deals, like $2 off, $5 off, whatever. The restaurant has the ability in their merchant panel right now that they can put a deal up. If we put up it's a $5 off right now, we're taking money away from the restaurant. So they're already struggling, and then we're saying, hey, now we're going to take $5 more off of that order. So
you got to keep in mind that under our business model, the restaurants run their business. We don't run their business. We don't set their pricing. We don't do any of that stuff. The reason the other guys do that is because that's how they make their money. They gouge and they have all these hidden fees, 50 cents here, $1 there. They have 20 to 40% markups. We don't control any of that, but we will be working with restaurants for discounts in our system. We can put up discount coupons. We can do all that, but we have to go to the restaurant and say, hey, do you want to do a promotion? $5 off or whatever. We have to be more engaged with the restaurant because we don't control any of their stuff. Believe me, the restaurateur wants to make money. He wants to drive sales, and we'll have all of that going on for us. I want to answer a question though for Vincent Clark. He says, what is the payout on our referral customers?
We answered you on Facebook, Vincent, too, but now you can hear it in person.
Yeah. So it depends on what level you're at. That's the whole point of having these, connecting levels to, level 1, level 2, level 3. So if you sign up somebody and they did the $99 a month product, then you get 50% of that because you're the one that signed them up. And if somebody else refers, it breaks down 15 and 5. Or if you're just a side hustle driver and you're not a marketer, you're not anything other than a driver, but you recruit somebody, it's 40%.
So he was asking if it's the same guy, Vincent Clark. He was asking about the 10 cents and the 40 cents.
Oh, yeah. So it's the 10 cents. I think we answered that last night. We did. Yeah. So.
And then we also said the consumer is 30%, the side hustle is 40%, and the pro driver is 50 and 5. 50 and 5. So those are for subscriptions.
Right.
And that's the payout on the subscriptions. Yeah. And then the 10 cents and the 40 cents is the delivery. David Gibson wants to know, can a background check prevent a marketer? There's no background check. Yeah, the only person that gets a background check is a driver. The market, and by the way, that sometimes happens or will happen. Somebody that signed up as a driver and they wanted to drive got rejected for whatever reason, but he can be a marketer in the company and make a lot of money by referrals. There is no background check if you come into the company as a marketer
or a customer or whatever it might be.
They're asking about bags.
Bags, again, we haven't sorted that out. I'll get on top of that this week with Art.
We can also give you the website, and you could take the logo that you have in your back list, and you could go. It's restaurateur.com. I think there's a bunch of them, and it's going to be cheaper for you actually to do it that way and go make it yourself. Because the store we have right now doesn't offer them. And the places that I've looked at, where we get the name put on and everything, it's an exorbitant amount. I would say go to Walmart and buy the bags. You know, you can always take them somewhere and get a logo put on them. Way cheaper than we're going to have to sell them for, because they're not cheap.
Yeah, so...
can restaurants refer drivers and customers?
Yes, absolutely. Please
teach them how to do that. That was the training on Thursday that Shanna went through.
That's how you make more money. If you share the app and you start doing that, you'll have money flying in from all different angles. You know, it's all about the customer, the driver, the restaurant, getting the restaurant to get the app out to their people. Don't think, oh, well, I'm not going to make as much money. No, you know, if they have 2,000 people following them and 1,000 of them download the app and they're going to the restaurant, you're making money. So those are the things you need to think about. You got to think strategic. It's really important. Somebody just asked also about like Grubhub and the way they do it. They have 0 delivery fees. You know, there is no 0 delivery fees, but the restaurant gets screwed on that. That's the whole point. You don't see a lot of the hidden numbers that these guys do. It's like I always say, it's hiding the football, and it's nothing. Our receipts are transparent, so the consumer, the restaurant, and the driver see the same receipt where it's all broken down. There's nothing hidden, and that's the way we decided that a long time ago as we started looking into what a lot of the issues are with drivers, that they felt that they were being deceived because there was no transparency in receipts. Then as you go further down the list, you find the customer feels the same way. So
do you want me to tell them how the restaurant can refer?
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah.
So I know you don't want to hear, but it is coming. When we get the merchant app up, it's not done yet. We're working on it. They will have a refer and earn tab, just like the consumers do and the drivers do. And so they'll put in get the referral code, the referral links. They'll share that. That's how they'll refer. In the meantime, until that happens, what you can do is have them get the consumer app.
Right.
They make their referral code. And it's a great thing for them and for you, because they have customers already. So they're going to get their customers to use the app. They're going to order. You're going to make money off of that. So you got to get them in the mix here so that they're referring their customers. It's going to be more organic because they want to order food from that restaurant. Just like Rodney with that donut place. I think they don't have any delivery service. We're their first one.
Yeah.
So those people, believe me, Sunday morning, they don't want to get out of bed and go get their donuts. They want to deliver them. So they're going to tell their customers, and then they're going to make money off it. So will you.
It's a different game than what the other guys are playing. But you save the consumer money. The restaurateur can either make money or save money. It gives everybody options to put more money in their pocket, as opposed to like if you work for a competitor, you try to understand how you just got paid, and you can't figure it out because you don't have all the numbers. You can guess, but that doesn't give you the right answer you're looking for. Ours is real simple. Here's what you made because you make 100% of this. Or you make whatever on the referral fees. And if you look at the way the referral fees are structured, the more you do, the more you make. It's real simple. It's incentivized for production. And you can work as much as you want or not at all if you want.
I'm trying to find
Let's see. So Meredith, where do the $6 come from? The $6 comes from the customer who ordered the product. Somebody's got to pay.
When you order delivery, who pays for delivery?
Yeah.
You do.
The customer. So that's who pays the $6, and that's the one who leaves the tip.
Will we be stacking orders? I don't know what that means.
Meredith, the 50 cents goes to your sponsor or his sponsor. Yeah, that's what covers the 40 and 10 cents. We have, you know, we know exactly where all the money goes and how it works. And that's, you have little bits here, little bits there. It's why we don't not show you where it goes.
I wanted to show this.
But that will be millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars when we're up and running for, whoever does the referring on the app. That's what it's built that way, to be viral. That's why you guys got to get out there and start talking about it. If you live in a marketplace and you have, let's say you lived in Nashville, you have friends in Nashville, you just get on and put it on, online, and let them download it and tell them they can share in this too. They can download it and make 40 cents every time something happens. You got to tell people. If you don't tell people, they're not going to do anything. But if you tell them and they think it's great, which most of them do, they go, wow, I didn't know that. Well, that's how you start building a business virally, And a lot of people also, just so you know, you can post jobs for drivers on any of the Facebook ads. On any of the Facebooks, there's a place to do that. Amy was just messing around with it the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I don't know, you got 24 drivers or so that signed up. Not for us.
And I sent them back to the people
and
working.
she referred them back to the other drivers or
Joe
recruiters. Yeah, Joe Jones in Louisville and people like that. We just hand them over. We don't want to, but if you guys aren't doing it, then you force us to go out and do it. So we'll do it. We'll just turn over to the people who are productive, though.
Meredith says, how do you do it? Make a Facebook page, Meredith, and then make a job post.
Yeah.
And you have to target where you're going to put it at. Like we have one in Nashville, one in Vegas, one in Louisville. And then they'll put in their information. You put what you're looking for, put delivery driver, with the details, and then they send you back, and then you can.
And it's free. Yeah. You don't have to pay a dime for it.
Oh, Rodney got 80 drivers leads.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
See?
Yeah.
Rodney happens to know how to do it, though.
Yeah, Rodney. Well, there's not 80 drivers that I know
signed up yet.
So
we're going to go sign them up. There should be no impediment to driver signups because there's no fee for them, And then also they only pay 30 days after driving for their subscription, not before they drive. So their net money in their pocket, 100% of the ride fare for 30 days before they ever pay the $39 or $99.
Are we going to be stacking orders? Or you can accept more than one at a time? Currently, no.
Currently, no. It depends on the restaurant. Some of the restaurants will, want you to do it. And then there's 2 separate, fee schedules to that. But one of the things we are looking at for stacking orders on the grocery side, we think that if we can get 3 orders out at the same time. So if you go to a Smith's or a Walmart, whatever, and there's orders in the queue and you have to pick them up at between 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 or whatever, if we can get 2 to 3 orders at a time for a driver, then you're gonna start making some pretty darn good money. That we looked at that a lot, and we think there's my dog. Probably saw a coyote. So we're looking at all that kind of stuff. But I know a lot of you guys want to forward think. We need to get current thinking up and running first, and that means getting the businesses up and running and secured. So we need another 200 restaurants in Nashville. We really got traction of 300 plus restaurants. We have to have 800-900 drivers on board, and then the marketing from the consumer, or marketing to the consumer through either influencers or yourself or us, the company, to drive downloads. That's really critical.
One other thing that I talked to Rodney about this week, and I want to just suggest it to you guys. If you have any friends in Nashville, anybody in Nashville that has any kind of social media presence whatsoever, even if they have 10 friends in Nashville, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
If you sign them up as a consumer for free, they get a referral code. You could buy them lunch if you want to, and ask them to post on their social media with their referral code. If they even get one, and that consumer makes an order, it's worth the money that you just spent to buy them lunch.
Yeah. Or if you don't want to buy them lunch, send them over some coffee and donuts. Rodney's got the right place.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things you could be doing proactive to build your business. Doesn't cost a lot of money. A lot of it's free for drivers. You can get a sign up. Just got to post creative ads. and then all the other thing that's going on. So, that's Amanda. Let me go through one more. Mike, this is a gig economy industry, let alone food delivery. It's still a very new concept. Even the other competitors are winging it. Well, yeah, I mean, look, part of it is you have to be, if you're not flexible or you're able to pivot with the market, you're probably going to miss something. So nobody has all the answers because there's, people think, oh, you're just going to go pick up some restaurant food and drop it off. Well, there's a lot of logistics that go into that, making that happen. I mean, our apps are very complicated. I mean, very complicated. It's not just go pick it up here. There's time involved when there's information that we send to the restaurant. Once you ping on the thing and you accept the order, the restaurant gets pinged also and says and it tells them, are you 5 minutes out, 10 minutes out? They're going to ping back if they've got the capability and say, yeah, the order will be ready in, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The deal we're talking to this other company that's got ghost restaurants, they don't do any cooking and they're all about brands. So the brands they have are Quiznos, they have Cinnabon, they have, what's the other restaurant, the big one? Cheesecake Factory. So they have about 20 different major brands, but none of it's hot. Okay, they don't cook. So they're able to put an order together in 5 minutes. So when they get an order, 5 minutes later, that order's ready to go. So we're working through that with these guys, and they want us to come to Canada. Coyotte's in Canada, the best guy we got on the team, and we're going to probably get up to Toronto pretty fast. Got to get through the things, established from a legal entity in that market. But that leaves us, this company is in 5 other markets in Canada, and they got 20 ghost locations right now. They're going to have 100 in the US over the next 90 days. And they're going to probably end up with close to 1,000 locations in the US over the next 12 months. They can put a store up in literally 10 days, or a restaurant up. So we're looking for opportunity like that. Obviously, it gives us the impetus to grow. And we have other people that we're working with also in a lot of these different markets. You'll see as it's a ramp up, it's like a funnel. You're just putting tons of stuff in a funnel, and then it's got to go down that funnel. So
low cost food delivery, we already answered that question.
Yeah, we've been on here for an hour.
And Meredith says, are they in Toronto? Yes.
Yes, they are.
When will Verb be integrated? Are marketers the only ones getting a replicated site to run traffic to?
Yes, marketers are going to be the only one that gets replicated sites. You could pay for one if you want, but they don't pay for the Verb either. That's part of the $3.99 price monthly. Is they have the Verb platform. So we're trying to make it easy and attractive for everybody to get involved.
And then this last question.
Yeah, this is it. We're into this an hour.
If there are not enough deliveries in a new market, at the end of 30 days, will they still be charged?
Yes. I mean, we're going to open, we opened Nashville to get it going. We have a limited number of drivers in Nashville. They can handle what we got. We got to start blowing it up. If you can't make money at $39.99, maybe you shouldn't be driving. Maybe you should just be a marketer. I don't know. But you guys worry about the wrong issues. If you want to be, and I'm just going to be straight up with you guys. If you want to win, you got to get a winner mentality. Stop thinking about all negatives. If I don't do this and I don't do that, and if I don't have my marketer and I don't have my this, that's not how you win. You win with positive thinking. How am I going to go into a market and dominate that market? I want to be the best guy at signing restaurants up. How do I do that? First thing you got to do is make your mind up. You're going to go do that, and then put a plan on to do it. And the plan could be as simple as writing on a pad the 10 restaurants you want to see this week, and then go out and sell them. But if you keep thinking negative thoughts like, oh, I'm going to get screwed for $39.99, guess what? You're going to be non-productive. I'm just telling you straight up, and maybe you don't want to hear it, but that's the way it works in life. You got to be positive about what you're going to do and stop worrying about the negative stuff. There's plenty of negative in life. If you can find it every second if you like. I choose not to. I choose to get up, go work, go be creative, see what I can do. And if I make a mistake, you fix it.
And
that's
it's
all.
More opportunity than just driving. You can sign up restaurants. You can sign up consumers. There's so many parts of this business that some of you just get paralyzed because you're so worried about the other thing and this and that and the legacy and what about that you just do nothing.
Walt Brown just came up with a great suggestion. He said, if you guys listen to the later, it will be easier to learn the business. So then that is a smart man right there, because he's saying you have to listen to what's going on instead of anticipating issues like, where does this come from and where does that come from? Those are all straightforward issues, right? But on the other hand, if you don't have a positive mindset, you're never going to win. At least I've never seen anybody win without it. But the great majority of people on here do have a positive mindset. I would say 95% of you have a great positive attitude. But the ones that worry about it you're just hurting your own self to, move forward in your business cycle to get you where you want to go. And it's scary for a lot of people. Risk is scary, but you can't be afraid of it. And once you break through risk and you have some successes, guess what? You'll never look in the rearview mirror for that risk again. You're just going to be full of confidence and build your business. You're going to build your life. It will change your life if you become a positive person in life, as opposed to risk adverse and, all of those kinds of things. So you don't need to hear me preach about that.
One last thing.
Okay.
Clint Booker, who I've never heard from before, so hi, Clint. He just wants to know, how soon can you pay for the marketer?
The marketer program will be up by Wednesday or Thursday this week. All of the documentation will be posted up in your back office by Friday. What that means, the PowerPoint, the commission structures, the one-pagers. We want to start encouraging people to use those one-pagers we showed, because those one-pagers are the message from the company. You don't have to think about what you're going to put on it. There's the message, and you don't have to worry about it. So yeah, and the whole purpose for the marketer program is, if people can't drive, they can go do that. So they have the opportunity to make money. They can go sign up restaurants. They can sign up drivers. They can sign up other marketers, and the marketers will start driving the business for us. So when we get on these calls, back when we were recruiting everything before we had the systems up and running, we literally would have thousands and thousands of people on the call. And we got to get back to that. That'll drive momentum to do signups. And the purpose of our business model, the way a referral partner business model works, is to get as many people on, because we need to find those 10% of the people that are going to really work and open restaurants. And that's really how it works. But
and Meredith, know that you were not live in Toronto yet.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't announce some of these things, but it's just by the nature of the way I work, I'm pretty transparent. We'll have Toronto open. We're going to have a lot of markets open, and we focus on the thing at hand. One thing I do, I'm like this with blinders. And if I have a game plan, and the game plan is to go open Nashville, and it wasn't that up until about a week ago when I said, we're going to pivot here, kind of what we're talking about. We're going to go focus as a company on Nashville and get it up and get traction. Not just to say stop in all these other markets. I'm not saying stop. I'm saying keep going in these other markets. It's like Kevin Steele, young guy in Tucson. He just killed it by getting a ghost kitchen for himself. But he also has other restaurants. That young man will have probably 10 or 15 restaurants for himself over the next 30 days. I mean, that's a nice piece of change on residual income coming in every month for him. And who was I talking to? Oh, I think it was William Mathis was signed up restaurants and people were feeding him, And William, if you've seen him, he's a great looking guy, and he's, like buffed out. I started laughing. He's going to end up looking like me if he keeps going to the restaurants. So anyway, I just want to thank everybody. I hope I wasn't too much of a, whatever to push you guys, but I'm just trying to give you my wisdom of 40 plus years in business and how I think. And it's a lot easier to be positive in life get all the negative stuff out of your life. If you have negative influences, get them out of your life. They don't help you. But being positive will take you over the top in everything you do. And don't worry about stumbling and falling. And everybody does. You get your knee scraped, so what? Get up, and go back at it. You got to be in the arena to win. If you're not in the arena, you're not winning, right? But if you don't get in, you've totally lost because you're not going to do anything. It's pretty simple. Listen, everybody, you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you next Saturday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy it with your families if you can, because of COVID. I know they're shutting down a lot of things with families, but you can still Zoom. You can still pick up the phone. We
will have a shortened schedule this week for training.
Yeah, shortened schedule. But next Saturday, we'll be back online with you guys. We'll give you some good updates. The marketer program will be up by then, and we have a bunch of other new things that Amy and her team are working on right now. So with that, I want to wish you guys all a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll catch up with you. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
I think I'm on.